Hello everyone, today we are going into 1.3a, midpoint and bisect. And so in this first video we're going to talk about midpoint. So the midpoint of a segment is the point that divides the segment into two congruent segments. So here we see that M is the midpoint of AB, so that means that AM is congruent to MB. Or like we learned before, that also means that AM is just equal to MB. Those are both the same. And we mark that they're congruent with those tick marks. So let's go ahead and get into a problem. So here it says that D is the midpoint, keyword there, of EF. I'm told that ED is equal to 4x plus 6, and so on. I want to find the length of ED, DF, and EF. So first, when I see a midpoint, I know I want to put my tick mark so I know what's congruent. So I know DF is congruent to ED. And so now I'm going to create an equation from that. So then being congruent, that means that ED is equal to DF. So that's what congruent means. Well, ED is just equal to 4x plus 6. DF is equal to 7x minus 9. And now I'm going to solve that. So I want to get all x's on one side, so I'll subtract 4x from both sides. Add 9. And then divide by 3. So I get 5 is equal to x. So now I'm going to go back and look at what the problem's asking me. The problem's asking me to find ED, DF, and EF. So I need to keep going. So I know ED and DF should equal the same thing, so it doesn't matter which one I plug it into. I'm going to go ahead and plug it into ED. So now I'm going to plug in my 5 for x. So I have 4 instead of x times 5 plus 6. Well, 4 times 5 is just 20. And so I get that ED is equal to 26. Well, since I know they're congruent, that means that DF must also equal to 26. But you can plug it in as well. If you plug it in, you get 7 times 5, which is 35. 35 minus 9 gets you 26. Okay, and then so those are my two answers there. And then I need to find EF. So EF, that's this entire thing. Whole length. And remember from segment addition postulate, I know I can just add up ED plus DF. Well, since these are both the same, that's really just doing twice times either one of these. So let's say ED. Well, that's just two times the 26 that we just found. So that means that EF is just equal to 52. And so for all these midpoints, you should get two of those segments that are congruent. They should come out to be the same number. And then for your last one, for the whole, it should always be times 2. So go ahead and try doing that next one on your own. And when you think you have it, go ahead and press play and check out your answer. Okay, so this is the answer that you should have gotten for number 2. I plugged in for RS equals ST, and when I solved that, I got -2. I went ahead and plugged into RS just because that one was an easier one to plug it into. It's okay if you plugged it into ST. You still should have gotten 4. And then when you double that, you should get 8. Okay, now this last one's a little bit different. So again, I have that B is the midpoint of AC. And I'm given what AB and AC are. And it asks me to find the length of AC. But this time it doesn't give us a picture. So whenever that happens, I always like to draw a picture so I can visually see what's going on. So I'm told B is the midpoint of AC, so that means that B is in the middle. It's the midpoint, so that means that these two, AB and BC, are congruent. I'm given that AB is equal to 2x plus 1. And then I'm given that AC is 7x minus 1. So now this one is a little bit different. Last time we were given the two smaller segments, but now this time I only have one of the small segments and then the whole. So when that happens, I need to think about how AB is related to AC. And so if we look at these problems above, like ED and EF, they were related by that EF was twice as much as ED. And so we have this equation right there. And so that's the equation we're going to come up with this time. So I know AC is equal to double of AB. And then now I'm going to plug in my values for AC and AB. Well, AC was 7x minus 1. And then here I have to put parentheses because I'm multiplying this whole expression by 2. And AB was 2x plus 1. And then here I'm just going to solve. So first I want to distribute. So I have 7x minus 1 is equal to 2 times 2x, which is 4x. 2 times 1, which is 2. Subtract 4x. Add 1. And then divide by 3. And I get that x is equal to 1. And then now the last step, it asked me to find the length of AC. So if AC is equal to, well, I have my expression here. And x is 1. So 7 minus 1 is 6. Okay, that's it for this video. You can go ahead and move on to the next one.